Hello everyone, I'm Maria and welcome back to my nook. This video is going to be a hopefully cozy little reading vlog because I am planning on starting a new book series today and I thought I would take you guys along. But before we dive into anything new, I just wanted to quickly talk about the book that I finished yesterday, which is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. Now, I don't have a book to hold up for you because I read the book as an ebook. The Ballad of Never After is the second book in a sort of spin-off series. The first book was Once Upon a Broken Heart, and the original series was the Caraval trilogy. In the Caraval trilogy there are characters, and one in particular, that are introduced and play a big part in Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After, which both take place in the same world as Caraval, but with a different main character and different setting, like same world, different setting, obviously different plot and everything. The first book, Once Upon a Broken Heart, I didn't really like the plot, I think, which was probably mostly because I wasn't very fond of the main character. The world intrigued me a lot though, which was why after that I read the Caraval trilogy, which is a kind of weird order to read these books in, but I don't know, it just happened to be like that for me. And then I loved the Caraval trilogy and I really fell in love with the world and the characters that were introduced in that trilogy and now continue to play roles in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Now the second part of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series came out, The Ballad of Never After, and I'm honestly a bit conflicted once again, like I was on the first book. I had heard so many people before I read this book say that the ending was so huge and that they're almost a bit disappointed that there's going to be a third book because they wish that the series would end after the second book. When I heard those people, I thought I'm probably gonna agree with them because, as I said, I wasn't really a fan of the first book. So I just thought if the ending is well done, I would probably be satisfied with the second book. Now, this book, for like the first 60 or 70%, they didn't really get much done that actually moved the plot along, and I kind of dragged myself through the first half of the book. Like, it took me 5 days or so to get through the first half of the book, and then the second half I read in a single day, but simply because 2 holds came through at my library and I just thought that's gosh darn amazing and I need to finish the book I'm currently reading right now so I can start the new series ASAP. Which I did, and the ending of The Ballad of Never After was huge, but honestly I kind of want a third book. The thing is just, I don't want another book that's 400 pages long. I think a 200 pages book could do. Like, there are a few things that I want to see more of and that I want to see resolved in one way or another. I just feel like the things that I want to see could be done in like 200 pages, and I don't want another 400 pages, and I feel like that was the same case with the first book, where I wanted to see how a few specific things were continued, but then I got a 400-page book with a whole bunch of other stuff that I wasn't really interested in, which is probably the reason why the book dragged a little for me. And I'm kind of scared that the third book will be very similar to me, because I want to know what happens next, but I don't want to have all the stuffs around that. You know what I mean? It's a bit difficult to explain. My brain is kind of still roaring around that, which is why it's already 4:30 p.m. and I still haven't started my new book, because I thought maybe my brain still needs to calm down. But I'm really in the mood for reading now, and I want to start this series right now. So let's get to it. The series I'm talking about is the Shades of Magic series. I have recently been watching a lot of videos from Katie is Reading, and I saw one in which she was talking about V.E. Schwab and her books. So I asked her in the comments if there were any of V.E. Schwab's books that she could recommend for someone who isn't really into very spooky books. And she recommended the Shades of Magic series for me. I found this used box set, and these books are in fantastic condition, and this was a steal, honestly. But now I have all 3 books, and I really hope that I'm going to like this series, because if not, that's gonna be very sad. These are a big yes. So in the first book, A Darker Shade of Magic, I honestly don't remember too much about these books because it's been a while since I bought them. But I remember that there are basically multiple versions of London, which, first of all, a story taking place in London, sign me up. Second of all, there are different kinds of London, like there's a grey London, there's red London, I think black London, and white London, if I'm not mistaken. There's a map in this box set, which is so cool. Hang on, let me get it out. I have to go so far back so you can see the whole map. This is so cool. And I think, as far as I've gathered, there is this main character who can travel between the Londons. Obviously, I haven't read anything about the plots of the second and the third book, because I've learned the hard way that the little plot synopsis, I never know what the texts on the backs of books are called, because they're not plot summaries. But like, you know, the stuff that is on the back of the book, those very small plot summaries of books that you can read on Goodreads or on the back of a book. For the second and third book in book series, often spoil the first book for you. And the one for the third book often spoils the plot of the second book for you. So I haven't read anything about those yet, but I can just quickly read you what it says on the back of the first book. Welcome to Grey London. Dirty and boring, without any magic, with one mad king, George III. Then there is Red London, where life and magic are revered, and White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war, down to its very bones. And once upon a time, there was Black London. But no one speaks of that now. Officially, Cal is the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between the worlds, acting as ambassador and messenger between the Londons in service of the Marish Empire. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby for him to have, as proved when Cal stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London. Fleeing into Grey London, Cal runs afoul of Delilah Bard, a cutpurse with lofty aspirations who first robs him, then saves him from a dangerous enemy, and then forces Cal to spirit her to another world for a proper adventure. but perilous magic is afoot, and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all the worlds, they'll first need to stay alive. I've also heard that the magic system in these books is pretty cool, so I'm really excited to get into them now. And by the way, I've been talking about a hold for this book. I have borrowed the audiobook for it at my library, and I'm really excited to get to that. So, oh my gosh, let's go. Alright, hello everybody, it's the next day, and I know this looks like I'm in some sort of cell or whatever, but it's literally just the room with the best lighting in my apartment at this hour of the day because it's already dark outside. Anyway, I have some exciting things to talk about. Yesterday, I randomly felt like baking cookies at like 6 p.m. So I baked some honey oatmeal cookies and while doing that I suddenly felt incredibly tired and I started to feel a headache crawl over me, so I really just finished baking and then laid down to rest, and that's why we're only talking again now. But I've made a lot of progress in this book today. I think I read over 150 pages today, and oh my god, I am loving it. I love the world building, I love the magic system. I really like the two main characters, Kel and Delilah, or Lila as she's more often called. Their dynamic is amazing. I don't know, just this world and the magic system in this world is just, it's chef's kiss. I love it so much. I'm enjoying this book so much. Yesterday I was having a bit of trouble imagining the descriptions of places and items and stuff, but I feel like that was mostly because I was tired. Now that I've really gotten into this book, and now that I've really gotten into the audiobook as well, I've listened to so much of the audiobook today and I'm loving it. I love this so much. I'm enjoying it so much. By the way, the audiobook narrator's voice is kind of giving me Inkheart vibes. If you don't know, Inkheart is a book by Cornelia Funke, and I have never read the first book. It's a trilogy. I've only listened to it on audiobook, and his voice is just giving me major Inkheart vibes. and it kind of reminds me of my childhood somehow, which is a little bit of an odd feeling, but it also somehow gives me a little bit of comfort. I don't know, but I'm really, really loving this book. And as I said yesterday, I only read like 50 pages of the book, which was probably also because I only started reading in the evening, and today I was reading the entire day. But I literally breathed these 150 pages in. And the only thing I want to do right now is sink my teeth further into this world and into this story. I'm so obsessed with it already. And I'm like pretty much exactly halfway through the book right now. I am obsessed. Oh, and oh my god, another really amazing thing happened today. So I told you yesterday that the holds at my library for both the audiobook for the first book in the Darker Shade of Magic series and for the second book came through at the same time. And I already thought this is amazing as hell. But oh my god, you have no idea what happened today. My hold for the audiobook for the third book in the series came through as well. This is just perfect. Perfect. All the people out there that are regularly borrowing books from the library, no matter whether they're ebooks, audiobooks, paperbacks, whatever, they just know how hard it can be to manage to get an entire book series together so you can read them in a row and not like months or weeks apart. I'm so happy about this. Like, I'm enjoying this book so much, and all of my holds for the audiobooks came through, and I really hope that I'll be able to listen to them all before my loans expire. But I'm so excited. I'm so giddy about this right now. It's just such an amazing feeling to start a new book series and really enjoy it, and just know that if you get obsessed with it, that there are more books you can read. It's just so amazing. Also, what I find really cool about this book is that I've read books in the past that are divided by only the chapters, of course. I've read books that were divided by like timelines, like past, present, past, present, past, present. I've read books that were divided by POVs. I've read books that were divided by parts, sort of like theater plays, like part 1 and then chapters, and then part 2 and then chapters, and then part 3 and then chapters, and sometimes part 4 and 5. But those books usually go, part 1 goes from chapter 1 to chapter 23, and then part 2 starts at chapter 24 and goes to chapter 32, and then part 3 starts at chapter 33, and so on, you know? This book, however, I don't even know how to call it, you know, if I should just call them parts as well, because I think I already showed them in footage, but this book has also parts of sorts, like this, for example, 1, The Traveler, and then it's basically chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then it's 2, Red Royal, and then it's again chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then comes 3, Grey Thief, and then again chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then it's 4, White Throne, and so on. And I think that is a format that I have never seen before, and it's interesting. I'm not sure if it adds a huge amount to the story, but it's just a little sprinkle, you know, that kind of gives this book a little something that I just have never seen in books before. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying this book so much. And I'm maybe going to go back to reading now, or maybe I'm gonna call it quits for today. I'm not sure yet, honestly. I'll see. But either way, we're gonna talk again tomorrow. Hi, it's only about like an hour-ish later since we last talked, and the only reason I'm sitting here again so shortly after talking to you already is because I realized that maybe I should tell you what A Darker Shade of Magic even is about and where the plot is currently going. I'm still learning about this reading vlog business. It's gonna get better with time, okay? I promise. Right now, we have basically been introduced to a bunch of characters, obviously, mainly the two main characters, Kel and Lila. Kel is very special. He is one of the last blood magicians. He's an Antari. That's what they're called. What makes him special, like what makes him a blood magician, is that in this world, magic is basically about 5 elements. There's fire, earth, water, air, and bones. Blood magicians can control all 5 of them. And blood magicians also are special because they can create doors with their blood and special commands. And these doors work within a world or from the exact same place to the exact same place from one world to another. The way this works is that there are 4 worlds that basically are parallel to each other, and they overlap in one single spot, and that is London. Each of these worlds has one London, and Kel keeps them apart by color. For him, there's Black London, there's White London, Red London, and Grey London. He's from Red London, and Lila is from Grey London. And by the way, I feel like Grey London could be very much based on our real world, because in Grey London, magic is kind of non-existent. Most people that live in Grey London don't have any magical power, and plenty of people don't even believe in magic. There's a lot of enthusiasts that believe in it. So these blood magicians are able to create doors from one world to the other and travel through them, but normal people can't do that. In one of the worlds, basically, the magic basically digested itself and killed the whole world. So they closed the doors in order for the magic to keep from spreading. Now only these blood magicians are able to create these doors between worlds and travel through them. But the thing is, there's another issue, that these blood magicians are a dying breed. Because apparently being an Antari doesn't really follow a bloodline. It can't really be taught or anything. It's just kind of like an eye color. Some people have it and some people don't, you know. Currently there are exactly 2 Antari in this world. And nobody can do anything about that. So like if they die, these doors will be shut forever. That's a huge issue, I'm learning. And another big issue is basically that, well, Kel he was technically kind of adopted by the royal family of Red London, but he's also working for them as a messenger, so he's just handing messages back and forth between the different kings and queens of the different Londons, and obviously his own king and queen. And while doing that, he sometimes smuggles things between worlds, which is illegal, but oh well. And now on one of his trips, someone, I think it was an old-ish lady, was like, Oh my god, I've lost all of my family, and the only family I have left lives in another London, and I can't get to them, and someone has informed me through the other Antari that the only family member I have left in that other London is dying of sickness, and I want to hand him one last message. Please, please, can you transfer this letter to him? And Cal was like, I don't know if I should do this, but the lady just pushed the letter into his hand and then also pushed a payment into his hand, which was like something wrapped in a handkerchief. Suspicious. And she was very insistent about him not unwrapping that payment before he had passed on the letter, and went to the address that was written on the letter. But when he came there were people waiting for him in the shadows, and they were suspicious looking people. So he ripped open that letter, and it was literally just an empty piece of paper, and he realized that he had been played. Obviously people are after him now. He's also met Lila by now. Right now they have kind of formed an allyship, and she just wants an adventure. That's what's currently happening in the book, and I've talked way too long about this, but honestly I'm enjoying the hell out of it, so who can blame me? Hello, it is the next day. I've been listening to the audiobook of A Darker Shade of Magic a lot today. I've been out for a walk and it has been amazing. Like walking through the park and seeing all these autumn colors and listening to the audiobook, which is amazing. It was a fantastic experience, I'm telling you. I'm still really enjoying this book. I am currently on page 255, which means I have about 140 pages-ish left of the book. And I'm pretty positive that I will finish it tomorrow. I think I'll read more tonight, but I will probably not update you again tonight. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm really enjoying the story and the characters, and as I said yesterday, the world in and of itself I am obsessed with. Also, the writing is just so amazing. Like, for example, earlier while I was out for my walk, I was listening to the audiobook, and there's a passage saying, "The rain had ended and left the streets dreary and damp, but despite the wet ground and the October chill, London was beginning to drag itself awake." This is the kind of description that I want to have, and the book is full of that sort of stuff, and I am loving it. I'm so excited, and it's so amazing that this is a trilogy, because it means that I don't have to be sad about finishing this book, because there's a second book after that, and after that there is a third book, and that is just so amazing. I'm getting so giddy again just talking about this and thinking about this. Honestly, I've been enjoying every minute of this book. So that is the update for today, and I think we will talk again tomorrow, maybe with the final update for this vlog. Alright everybody, I am here to wrap up this vlog because I have just finished A Darker Shade of Magic, and this book, oh my god, it was so good. I enjoyed it so much. It was just, I think I've already mentioned this about a million times in this vlog, but I'm gonna mention it again. The world, the magic system, the characters, I loved it all so much. And not even just the main characters, Kel and Lila. Side characters too. They were so well written. And even the villains were so well done. It was just so good. Like the chemistry between characters and the dynamics. You know how sometimes you simply click with a piece of media, whether it's a film or a TV show or a book? And this is definitely one of those cases for me. This story entered my mind, settled in my heart, and I am so sure that it's probably gonna keep a very special place in my heart for a very long time, because A Darker Shade of Magic is now very high on top of my list of all-time favorite fantasy books, honestly. Also, the writing in this book, so good! So good! I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but there were passages in this book where the author said things like, he was built like an afternoon shadow, and I was like, yes, yes, that's what I want to hear. I mean, in all these romance books, which don't get me wrong, I love reading a good romance, but in all these romance books, men are usually described as like broad shoulders, strong neck, and like muscles here and there, and abs and cheekbones and stuff like that. And this character was described as an afternoon shadow. Yes, give me that kind of description. That's what I am here for. And there were more things like that. I think I put footage of a few things in the vlog. It was described that the ceilings of the bedrooms of the royal family were designed to look like skies at certain times of the day. Like one bedroom was designed to look like the sky at dawn, and the other was designed to look like the sky at dusk, and the other was designed to look like the sky at midnight. And I was like, oh my god, yes! It made my heart melt, honestly. Everything about the story just spoke to me. Let's call it that. I can't stop saying it. I just enjoyed this book so much, and the fact that I enjoyed it so much put an extra amount of joy on top. I simply had such a fantastic reading experience with this book, even though some parts of it were an emotional roller coaster, but it was just such a fun time. Seriously, I am so happy I picked up this book, and I'm so grateful that Katie is Reading recommended this series to me. Oh my god. I'm just so happy, honestly. Such a good time. And with that, I think, because I believe I've talked enough about this book now, I will let you go, and I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. If you did, maybe give it a thumbs up and perhaps subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my videos that I will upload in the future. Otherwise, I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye! bye.